Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm back, I'm BV, I'm hanging loose, I'm in the Telstra building in the Melbourne CBD, and I'm here with Dave Lewis. I'm super pumped to have you here, mate.
Great to be here, mate. I like the energy.
Super pumped up, I can't believe it. Dave created the Mentor List podcast, which is amazing. He's interviewed so many different mentors from all walks of life.
Very true.
Very different organisations, sport, professional, business, the whole lot. And I've just finished up being on his podcast, so we thought we'd shoot this one, and I'm pumped. Dave, welcome.
No, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, like you said, we just did a run there, so we've had you on the hot seat for 20, 40 minutes.
Hey.
So I'm liking the injection of energy, and yeah, hello to your listeners, and thanks for having me on.
Stoked, mate. Welcome.
No, thank you.
So tell me, mate, so the Mentor List podcast, tell me about that. Tell me about you. Tell me, how did you even create this thing?
Well, I don't know where it came from. It's, I guess, started 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago, and I was in a transition in my own career. I just finished an MBA, and I was between contracts. I was consulting at the time. And I was kind of looking for a bit of inspiration, so I'm meeting up with people, and I'm surprised at how accessible people were to get access to. This is great Melbourne talent. I'm a Melbourne guy. You can see Melbourne in the background. It's nice and rainy and grey out there. So I was kind of looking and searching for, I guess, the podcast, which I ended up then creating. And I did a lot of research around, should I start a podcast? Who should I interview? What should I call it? And all the answers to those questions that people gave me basically set the show up for the first 12 months. So they gave me the name, they told me who to interview, they told me the questions to ask, which you experienced today. And so, yeah, I guess it was just through doing, and I was breaking that down. And similar to yourself, I had a fair bit of influence through Tony Robbins and other sort of self-help and more formal education, whether it's an MBA and those. So sort of a combination of your more traditional learning plus this sort of what would you call it? It's kind of like inspirational type events and seminars which you can go to, which certainly throw a lot of fuel on a fire that was already burning for me. And so the Mentor List started as a passion project, I guess, initially. And I'm thinking, now 100 interviews later, it's amazing what being in proximity with great people does to you. We were sort of having a chat before this about someone you're mentoring at the moment, and just by them having proximity and access to you, their life's going to take a different path, I guess, and a path for the better. And that was something I never envisaged at the start. I thought, great, we'll make great content, but I never really recognised the power in having these relationships with these amazing people and the unknown opportunities that then leads to. So just for example, World Vision, which is Claire Rogers, the CEO there, just as an example from this morning, they've just agreed to be one of the charities which we then promote on our Mentor Marketplace, which is a new product which we've gotten into as well. And it's just amazing sort of the opportunities that being in proximity with great people sort of presents. So I'm rambling on.
No, it's great, mate.
Structure me with a question.
But it's true, right? Like, how's the opportunities that come from the different people you meet? And like when we're speaking and we're recording the podcast, you ask lots of questions and you really get to know people. And then you walk away from the podcast after it and you've got this, this relationship that's been crafted more than probably just going to a business meeting, but got under the hood of the person, you've understood what drives them, and then got this relationship, then from there moves forward. And then when the opportunity comes up in the business world, you go, hey, I know who I can use. I know who'd be interested in coming on and being a part of this, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're number 12, right?
Yes.
On Hangin Loose.
Yes.
But you've done 100 plus.
100 plus, yeah. I can't remember. I'm trying to think back to my number 12. I think we launched the podcast with about 15 in the bank. Which was sort of, a strategy of mine to have, lots of content, because podcasting wasn't the only thing I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So I guess, thinking back at 15, what you learn and who you meet, it's just amazing. And it has a bit of a snowballing effect as well. I guess we're in our third trimester or third year now.
Wow.
Where we're sort of looking at, okay, what's the focus for the Mentor List and our podcast channel going forward? And we're sort of moving away. So originally I was the host, so the first 2 years, and now we've just opened it up where we're bringing in great people that are sort of experts within different areas to then interview sort of 6 people as part of our mini series. So we'll start seeing that come through on the mentor list, where people can come in and do podcasts without sort of the ongoing, the ongoing pressures of having an ongoing show and an ongoing listenership, and I guess the dedication to that listenership that exists, so people can sort of hop in, show us their expertise, give us access to the people that they can interview and the people that they want to build the relationships with. And so that's sort of, the third part, and it allows us to focus also on growing our mentor marketplace and connecting people with, being better versions of themselves in a commercial way. So,
mate, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's good to see someone's got a strategy behind a podcast.
Well, it's funny because I got an advisory, so we wrapped a great advisory board around the mentor list when we were looking to make it commercial. So I guess 12 months in, we'd sort of achieved some success around downloads, and we had a listenership, and it was growing, and all the signs were there, and we're doing good things. And so we're like, well, hang on, there's got to be some value here. And so what we did to try and pull us, I guess, and this is similar to what you're going through, early stages of a business life cycle, we put a great advisory board and a few grey hairs and a bit of experience, a lot more experience than what I've got, all the people in the mentor list around growing businesses and established businesses, to try and pull us forward through those teenager and the early years of a business. And getting that sage advice it's just been great. And it's allowed us to stop things that aren't working probably a lot quicker than what I would have done, because my tendency is when something's not working, I'll just try it harder and harder and harder. So it's good to have someone that's a bit removed to give you good advice.
Oh, cool, mate. It's great to see you, like I said, have a strategy behind it. What I wanted to ask you, now you've interviewed 100 plus people. I believe every single one of those, and I haven't listened to all of them yet.
Yep.
I believe,
okay.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh. Out of all those stories, I believe that everybody's got a story. Every single person that walks the planet of the Earth's got a story. But out of those 100 people, those beautiful people who've been on the show, is there any highlights or anything in particular that you've learned? Anything that you want to share with the watchers, the listeners today, that can share, that can inspire them from all the mentors you've had access to and spoken to?
Yep.
Or like 1 to 3 to whatever things you've learned,
Yeah, so I think, and I didn't really land till probably, I don't know, maybe the 80th interview, but there's this common strand or thread which keeps showing up in these interviews. And so, we're interviewing people that are elite athletes, we're interviewing people that are at the top of their game in business, top of their game in their thought leadership for whatever it is that they're known for. And there's this one thing that keeps coming up, and it's time. And it's how they use their time, it's how they value their time, it's how their habits either leverage or enhance their time. So whatever their key, the benefit of getting 20 to 40 minutes to get someone's best secrets is you get so much good stuff. And I never sort of worked it out until I started sort of listening back, and I started thinking, and I had to do a bit of a presentation at Swinburne University, and they're like, well, what's the one thing that's sort of coming through? And the one thing is a good shout out to Brian Keller's book, The One Thing. But the one thing is time. And so whether it's, we've got a productivity expert talking about how to maximize your impact through, whether it's something as simple as email batching or, scheduling your time. This is all about making the most of your time doing certain activities, whether it's someone recommending a routine in the morning. So Jamie Pride, the ex-CEO of realestate.com, he has an amazing rigid method to get himself prepared in the morning, emotionally, physically. So there's meditation, there's a diet in there, there's nutrition, there's all these things that he does, so that by 9 a.m. hits, he's already won for the day, and everything on that's plus. And so that was all about getting him in the right headspace.
Yeah.
And if he's in the right headspace, then he's going to use his time more effectively. So I sort of always link back time as the ultimate equalizer, because essentially it is the ultimate equalizer. And we mentioned it before in our interview. If someone's going really deep in building a career and they're getting really significant returns, and financially and then from a career perspective, potentially time may not be spent in other areas where there's sort of this equilibrium effect. And so sometimes they sort of switch back, or it might be sort of this integrated approach where they're chopping and changing in between. And trying to get what people call work-life balance, which I think is more integration. But so it's time.
It's the one thing that none of us can buy more of. We've all got the same amount of. I like to talk about surfing as being the great equaliser, where you all get in the water and it's not like you can take anything from the land with you. It's just like it's a great equaliser, and time is a great equaliser as well.
Yeah.
What about for anyone out there who might be thinking about starting a podcast and some of the benefits associated with it? We've spoken about the relationship, how you get to know people. What are some of the amazing opportunities? You spoke about one of the ones that came up, but what are some of the opportunities that have actually come out of having a podcast from a business perspective?
So from a business perspective, I guess, initially we started going down into the business of podcasting, where we're offering podcasting services. So it is a new and growing industry, and it does change quite quickly, but there are opportunities in the whole industry that's almost built overnight around editing, hosting, and the whole production of a podcast show. But it's sort of, it's deconstructing, I guess, some of the traditional media where you've had, radio, you've had TV, you've had these people that own the eyeballs or own the ears, where now you can actually get your message out there in an effective way and in an engaging way. And so if you've got a powerful message or a powerful cause that you're trying to project out there, the technology now exists so that you can do that in a way that's quite effective and quite impactful and not really geographically bound. My advice would be just to start, just give it a go. If you listen to my first episode, never made it to the mentor list. I was in Bali, and I was interviewing and recording a guy called Tom Mullally, which rhymes with Bali, but anyway, for some reason makes it strange. But we're in a club on 66 Beach in Seminyak.
Oh yeah.
The scooters are buzzing past, there's a gecko there, and every 5 minutes someone will order this ice drink called a granita, and so they've got the blender going, and you just acoustically I learned a lot in that interview, and it never made it. There's another one that never made it at Cocoon nightclub with the general manager there, but you just sort of got to get in and do it and learn through practice. We were sort of talking before about someone can tell you the oven's hot, but until you touch it, that's real experiential learning. That's where it really burns deep in your brain, literally in your hands maybe too. Just get out and do it, make mistakes, and just get momentum and go for it.
Excellent, great advice. So we're in the Telstra building.
Yes, we are. Yes.
So you're a business consultant as well.
Yes.
Business process.
Yeah,
I was going to say operational excellence, but not. Yeah, operational excellence, like business process.
Yeah, process and procedure, and sort of working on the supply side of business and trying to drive out inefficiencies and helping big business with that. So that's I guess my day job and my craft.
Yeah.
And podcasting and the mentor list is really my passion, and where I try to make an impact and a difference.
Right, awesome. So for the listeners, for the watchers, how can they contact you?
Yeah, sure. So you can just jump on the mentorlist.com. So I guess the next 12 months we're starting to build out the list of mentors. It's funny that we've got a list of mentors because that was the original name, and it's it's like
it's the best name. I love the name. It's so good.
Yeah, shout out to one of our listeners that named the show.
Was it a contest or a prize to name it?
No, it was just the original survey where I was actually testing the concept.
Yeah.
So I sent it out to friends, family, anyone that would do the survey, basically school buddies. And one of the suggestions was the mentor list, and it's funny that now our actual main business that we're trying to get into and explore further is actually having mentors listed, like a list of mentors. So. Yeah, so you can jump online the mentor list, you can find a mentor, you can listen to content, and you can contact me easily through that as well.
Fantastic. And on LinkedIn as well? You're
on LinkedIn, Twitter, all the socials.
Oh, you tweet?
No, not really, but we're just there. Donald Trump's sort of cornered that market, but Twitter, I never really quite understood it, but we do get some interactions through Twitter, and that's how people want to communicate, so we're there for that reason.
Excellent. Now, with every guest, I don't know if you know, mate, with every guest that comes on the Hangin Loose show, there's a customary end to it.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's a Hawaiian shaka. But you got to stare down the barrel, like on the left hand side of the camera there. You got to stare down the barrel. And there's got to be the shaka and you. So everyone's done it so far. I've had world champions do it. I've had innovation experts do it. I've had adventurers do it. So
I like it.
we're in Melbourne. We're in a great backdrop. I'm super pumped. We're going to do it. Ready to go.
Right,
so we're going to stare down
Let's
the barrel
go.
on the left hand side there. And 1, 2, 3. You. Awesome, mate. I bet you there hasn't been too many shuckers in this boardroom before.
No, it's very serious, yeah.
Mate, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for coming in.
It's been an amazing afternoon hanging out.
Ripper.
You know a lot about
Awesome,
podcasting, but also business as well. Thanks, Dave. Been awesome, mate.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, and thanks for watching, and love to hear from you.
You.